Evening, Kat. Evening, Malcolm.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Jackie. How are you doing?
Hello, hello. Yeah, very well, thank you. Lovely to see you again. We're just trying to work out if it was 2 or 3 years ago that you came out to Emery Down. I don't think it was 3. I thought it was 2, but anyway, marvelous evening when you came out to all of us in the forest and showed what the sort of tools and techniques that you use and do, and it was like a full house, wasn't it? You couldn't have got another person in there.
No.
So yeah, lovely to see you. And so I'll let you take this evening away because I think Kat's going to start with a short meditation.
Yes. So I'll just start with a short meditation just to align the energies. So if everybody just wants to sit in a relaxed position with their arms and feet open, close your eyes. If you're not used to doing meditations, then just see this as an exploration into your imagination for the next few minutes. So just take a deep breath in and just breathe out with a sigh. Just allowing your day to fall away, feeling yourself fully present in this moment here and now. Taking another deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just relax. Just allow your body to become slightly heavy. And allowing your energy to ground down into the earth. From the soles of your feet, from the base of your spine. Just allowing your energy to go down through the mud, past the worms, down through the plates, down through all the structures of Mother Earth, through the crystal caves, the lava, down, 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 and then ground and anchor your energy down deep into Mother Earth. And then just giving thanks to Mother Earth for supporting you, providing you with all that you need. The food that we breathe is from her. The food that we eat is from her. The air that we breathe is from her. Our bodies are her bodies. And just sending love to Mother Earth. And then allowing the energy to come back up through the soles of your feet, through your spine, up your spine, and out through the top of your head, connecting with all that is not of the earth, with the sun, the stars, the planets, the grand central sun, and giving thanks to the Father aspect, to the giver of life, thanks to our star brothers, star sisters, to all the divine beings, benevolent beings who are assisting us every day, giving thanks to the Father aspect, sending love. Then allowing this energy to come back down through the top of your head, past your throat, and down into your heart, where these energies meet and mingle. And just feeling the love that exists in your heart. Just imagine a puppy, your favourite flower, how you feel when you look at a rainbow, and just feel your heart swell with love. And then allow this energy to expand. Allow this love to expand through to every cell of your body. Allow this divine love to expand out as you connect with all the others on this call, with Jackie. Allow this energy to meet and mingle and merge with the world, to go out, out, out into the cosmos. As you allow this love that you feel for the energy of the cosmos to become one with the love that you feel for yourself. feeling this love as a backdrop of love. And then coming back into your heart. In the space of the heart, there is no polarity. In the space of the heart, you are free to feel, to be, no judgment. In the space of the heart, we can anchor into our true being. We are anchoring into our true selves now, into the divine creative potential of manifestation that exists in the heart and is there for you to tap into whenever you want. We give thanks for the opportunity to be on this call today, to be together, to be sharing this energy of love, of co-creation with Jackie. We ask that everything occurs for the highest good of all, so that this may be a step forward into reaching our full potential as we learn and grow together with everything that we do together as a collective. Thank you. And then from this space, when you're ready, open your eyes.
Okay. Oh, Jackie, you're on mute.
Yeah.
Sorry, that I was just saying that was lovely, Kat. Thank you.
Because you went miles away, didn't you? We couldn't hear you.
You were into a completely different dimension of stillness and silence.
Very good.
I was just going to say, could you just say a bit about meditation? Because for the years and years, for the longest time, I can't say I'm great at meditation now, but for anyone, how good it is for us.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about meditation, the first thing that nobody ever tells you is that it's actually very boring when you start. You know, when you first start meditating, you're supposed to sit down and be in this Zen posture and everything disappears. And, you know, you're usually sitting down battling with what shopping you've got to do, what you're supposed to be doing tomorrow. So, one of the easiest things to do before you sit to meditate is to actually shake for 5 minutes. If you just stand up and you literally just shake, you know, like this, just shake it out, shake it around. And then quite often this can get rid of a lot of the nervous energy that you have. So then when you sit down, you're more likely to be quiet. And then the easiest way to meditate is just to focus on your breath. You know, just feel your breath coming in and out and in and out. And then, eventually you will meet this space of stillness. Eventually you'll meet this space where only the breath exists. And there is just absolute silence and stillness. And when you get to that place, it's like your sweet spot. But the thing is, that is us, you know, that is the real us, is that space of silence. If you imagine, you know, like there's this analogy, so there's this beautiful bicycle who's so shiny and sparkly and wonderful, and everybody's admiring this bicycle, but then somebody puts that bicycle in a box and makes 2 eye peepholes, and so the bicycle's looking out and all it can see is this box, and it's like, you know, I look a bit crumpled, somebody squashed me, my cape's a bit wonky. And, you know, then all the judgment and everything kicks in, and the bicycle thinks that it's this weird cardboard box. And that's a bit like us. You know, we are the most incredible divine beings of love and light. And we don't see our true selves. We never feel our true selves. We just see, you know, our 3D bodies, and we judge them, we criticize them, forgetting that actually we are love. We don't even need to, you know, practice loving ourselves. It's like the bicycle. You don't need to tell the bicycle, you know, I'm trying to be the bicycle, because it doesn't need to try and be the bicycle. It
Just
is a bicycle.
is. Yeah.
And that's like us. We are beings of love, and we don't have to try and love ourselves. We just are love. And when you go into meditation and you go into those silent spaces, then you reach that space of non-judgment. You reach that space of stillness. And if you do that with a purity in your heart, then you can feel an incredible love in that space.
I love that, Kat.
Yeah, so meditation gives your body the opportunity to reset. It's kind of like fasting for your energy system. So, you know, you come back to yourself. It enables you to cope with life better. You know, I've had a lot of anxiety issues in the past. And when you meditate and you come back to yourself, you don't get so affected by things. It's like you have a inner core. So yeah, it's advisable to do every day. It's like a energetic shower. You have a physical shower for your body, and then you have a small meditation, even 5-10 minutes, you know, of just taking that time for yourself has a massive impact.
Wonderful, thank you. You know, someone said to me once, because I didn't find it easy, but even washing up can be a meditation if you're actually present in with what you're doing and being in the moment of that. It can be a meditation in itself, in just noticing what you're doing and being with yourself.
And you can even set intentions, you know, when you're washing up or you're wiping, you can say, oh, I'm cleaning my heart. Vacuuming and sweeping, you know, you can be cleaning your aura. You know, you can set all these intentions.
Yes.
Yeah, so that everything that we do becomes energetic as well as physical.
Marvelous.
Yeah, and that's the technology that we work with, is all to do with energy, raising the consciousness.
Thank you. So yeah, Malcolm and Kat are talking about the Orynoco tonight, but you'll explain that anyway, Malcolm. But lovely meditation to start with. Thank you, Kat.
Okay, well, it's very appropriate that you're sitting in your forest, because that is exactly where we come from, a point of balance. So we use the forest actually a lot in our explanation about what we provide in terms of I was going to say a technology, but it's not a technology. It's actually a tool, because using the word technology implies that it's kind of like a bit of a biohack, but it's not a biohack. But what it is, it's a tool that you can use to access your inner balance. So it's for yourself, purely for yourself. You're not trying to bypass anything. You're trying to get to your essence, bring you back to a balanced position and your essence. So believe it or not, it comes from plasma science, which is actually originally came from a scientist called Mr. Kesh, who was a nuclear physicist. And he was obsessed with maintaining the balance of his nuclear power stations. And that made him think about how everything and everywhere we live can be maintained in a balance. And that's what led him to understand how the invisible forces can be harnessed in the quantum field to our best use. And the way he actually explained it was, if you could turn around, Jackie, and walk through that forest behind you, what would actually happen is you would start interacting with that forest. And the forest itself is a perfect example of a balanced environment. But because we as humans always interact with our environments, you will start to take on the qualities of that forest, which is a balanced environment. And so by the time you get to the other end of your forest, you actually come out feeling much better. So you've actually completed a balancing aspect for yourself. And actually that's the time to go and do your meditation, because you're feeling relaxed, your body's feeling a little bit replenished or a lot replenished, and you're feeling in balance. So what Mr. Kesh did was try and work out how we could achieve that not in the physical terms, but in the invisible terms. And the reason he wanted to do that was because his pet subject was traveling the universe in space. And of course, he didn't want to work out a way in which he had to tow a big rocket with fuel, with medical supplies, with food, etc., behind him, but how he could do that without any of those physical accompaniments. And that's basically what he's done. What we've done is taken his science and applied it to products that we can all use to our best advantage. So it mimics your walk through the forest, and then you come out the other side. Now there is a whole level of other products available if you want to explore them that take it to the next level. And you know, have a look on his website. It's the Kesh Foundation, Spaceship Foundation. Absolutely, some of the stuff is pretty mind blowing. But
How would you spell that, Kesh?
Keshe.
Okay, thank you.
That's it. So basically, there were a group of us that came together. We'd all had experience of working with these. It's actually, the proper term for it is plasma, and it's not a plasma of a particular thing. Any group of charged particles can be given the general term plasma. And of course, because we are basically a grouping of charged particles ourselves, we have our own plasma, and we can interact with all the other plasmas on the planet. So what you've actually got to do is to start thinking in a completely different way about how you go through your everyday life. Of course, we're all used to the expression, "I'll believe it when I see it." But actually, when you start thinking in this new way, the expression, not "I believe it when I see it," it's actually, when I believe it, I will see it, i.e., I will create it. So it's not seeing is believing, it's believing is seeing. That's actually the way to approach it. What that does is then provoke you into looking at your everyday circumstances in a completely different way. You don't have to do it all the time, but for example, when you walk into a room and you might want to go and have the urge to go and speak to somebody, or have the urge not to speak to somebody, in fact, turn around and walk out of the room, you recognize that as a physical reaction. But actually, what we're trying to do is to get people to think about that whole situation in the invisible world of plasma. What is actually happening when I walk into that room and I feel an attraction towards a person, or it might be an animal, a dog? What is actually going on there? Is it just the physical, or is there something more to that charged environment? And the same when if you feel as though you don't want to be there and you walk out. So it's actually not about connecting just with the products we're making. What they are tools to help you reconfigure the way you approach your reality, and to start thinking in actually almost the reverse way to how we've been taught to think, so that we can actually, even just for a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes of the day, say, for example, you'd like to go outside to your forest and just sit in the forest, and then see if you can feel what's going on around you, rather than just look at what's going on around you. Feel the quality of it. And that's where we're coming from with these products. So it's just a tool to get you into the next phase of our development, the development of our consciousness and awareness, and take it from there. What that does is to give you a power up for yourself, knowing that you are bigger than you think you are, and knowing that there is something there and that you can expand on it, build on it, and take yourself to the next level.
Oh, I love that. Honestly, because when I do walk through the forest well, it's not a forest, but it's just going round to the park near us, but it's all through trees. There's a stream that goes right the way round. There's bluebells. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. But I've never sat, and there's loads of chairs we could sit on because the Totten team, they put all these chairs round there that you can sit by the river and all that stream or whatever it is. And I've never sat there and thought, what do I feel about this? You just look round at what you see, but I've never actually consciously thought what is the feeling about this.
Well, it's moving from a reality of a quantitative reality to a qualitative reality.
Yes.
So instead of thinking about how much, how big, how small, how little, you're actually thinking about what is the quality of my existence, my reality? How am I interacting not only with the people around me, but how am I actually interacting with that river that babbles past me? What is actually going on?
And another good idea is, now that it's starting to warm up, is to actually take your shoes and socks off and put your bare soles of your feet on the earth. Because, you know, we've very much lost our connection with the earth, and we don't realize how energetically healing that connection can be. So just by sitting without shoes and socks on, just for, 10-15 minutes with your feet on the bare earth, allows your whole system and energy systems to reconfigure with the earth. And you will get so much healing from that. You will get grounding, it's been scientifically proven that the earth actually releases negative ions. And, in the olden days when we were living as tribal people, we didn't have shoes. So this connection with the earth that we had through the soles of our feet was part of our everyday life. And that's something that we've lost now in our modern lives of wearing shoes and socks all the time. So when you're sitting there enjoying your environment outside, then especially now that it's warmer, take your shoes and socks off. Feel the earth, feel your connection.
Quality. It's all about the quality, and we deserve the best quality of everything because we've been shoved down the path of quantity, and now it's up to us to take our qualitative enjoyment of our reality into our own hands. That's actually where we're coming from. So you're going to ask me now how we do that, aren't you? Well, it's easy.
Well, yeah. Oh, it is it? Good.
No, it is actually easy because we are already doing it. So if you actually on Netflix, there's a whole documentary called Our Planet, and the first, I think it's a series of 5, and they're narrated by Morgan Freeman, and it's beautifully photographed. It was actually made in the States, but it's a fantastic family film that can be seen by everybody, kids, everybody, and it's a reminder. The first one is a reminder. It's called is it Searching Starlight? Chasing Starlight. Chasing Starlight. So Netflix, Chasing Starlight. It's about an hour long, and it traces the life of a cheetah on the African plains. But it explains how that animal feeds and grows, and what feeds it.
Wow.
And it's a lovely piece of photography. But the point is, all the energy that animal needs and everything else that we need comes from the sun. And and all of that is contained in information in photons. And as the photons come, I was going to say, to our planet, it's actually just a cloud of photons all the time, billions and billions and billions of photons. It's what they study at CERN all the time. They're always trying to find a photon to split. Those photons are emanating from the sun, and they contain all the frequencies, all the information of absolutely every single element on the Earth. what Mr. Kesh was doing was looking at how those elements could be extracted and then used to bring other elements back into balance that were out of balance. Now, the thing is that our environment is actually already fantastically balanced. You've only got to watch that film Oppenheimer, who was, about the
Oh,
Second
right.
World War. Now, when you watch that, you'll find that he found this way of setting off an atomic bomb, but his first attempt failed, and it failed because the environment is so well balanced. It didn't happen. What he actually had to do was go and find an initial bomb to set off the second bomb. So it actually needed two massive explosions to create an imbalance in order to create the nuclear explosion. So that's how well balanced our environment is. So what Mr. Kesh was doing basically was just taking the elements, or finding a way of taking those elements and putting them in a bottle so that we can all use them. And of course, where would he start? He would start how nature intends us to start, back to nature. And that is, for example, a leaf on a tree in your forest behind you. So as what he worked out was, how does that leaf extract the information from the sun to make all of the chemicals and everything that it needs to grow and flourish? And he did it. He worked it out. It's actually a very simple process, and everybody can make this in their kitchen if they want. All you need is a jar, a couple of plates of copper and zinc, or it varies depending on what you're trying to do, and copper wire and some salt. So the hard part is actually tuning all that up so you get a consistent product at the end of it that can be used by lots of people. And that's where our expertise come in. Anybody can make the actual, what we call transition state elements. Now, transition state element is the transition from the photon, the information being held in the photons, and it being transmuted into a powder-like substance that holds that energy of that, or the quality of that element. So just to show you, we have got here, for example, this is the element of iron. Okay, now in there is a tube. There's very fine dust particles, but that holds the frequency and the element of iron. This one is for copper.
Oh,
You can see
right.
So what have you got to do? Then you've got to work out, once you've extracted that information, how do you use it? And what Mr. Kesh found was that all of the elements have a balancing gravitational, magnetic and gravitational field around them. And depending on the element, it has a stronger gravitational or stronger magnetic field, and that will move them in relation to each other. Some will become closer, some will be pushed away, some will be pulled together. We're made up of all of those charged particles. So we are a plasma field ourselves, walking through our own forest. So when you enter your forest, and the forest is already balanced, it's there, it's nature, it can't be any more perfect. So when you walk through your forest, your plasma field is interacting with all these different already balanced environments, and feeding you what you need, and you're leaving what you don't need. So by the time you come out the other side, you're one step closer to being back to how you should be, which is actually when you were born. Then you came out of your mother's womb and you were perfectly balanced, hopefully.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, and then since that time, we've had effects on us from the word go. Somebody slaps us on the backside. There's these bright lights. There's noise. Everything's going on, and all of that uses up our resources, our plasma resources. So, for example, if you're in an accident and you're taken to hospital, then the first thing they'll probably do is pump you full of magnesium, because magnesium assists you in repair and your nervous system. So you've only got to really go onto Wikipedia and just type in what's the human body made of, and it will give you a breakdown of all the elements that we're actually made of. So what you've got to do then is just look at how you want to repair yourself. And of course, because we are so powerful, our consciousness is actually the driver of how well we will conduct that repair. So if you add all of that together, what you end up with is a situation whereby you can enter a field of information, which you do every day, because all of this is running through us all the time.
Mhm.
And then when you use your focus, use your consciousness to absorb or interface with that field, then you can improve, increase, decrease, rebalance your plasma field all the time. You can assist that process by using some of our products if you like. What they do. Sorry. So were you going to say something?
I was only going to say, does it help me even? That's only wallpaper, but does that help me in some way just having that in the room?
Absolutely. Totally.
Yeah.
Because it's your consciousness has taken you to the forest.
Yes.
Yeah. Because we one of the first things we did way back in 2012, 2013, we made some of these, our own versions. And then we went off, we were in Ibiza at the time, then we went off on a course to Morocco, and we had intended to take these with us, and we forgot. So we said, okay, well, everything is connected. Let's just lie here, think about these, and see if the energy comes in. And sure enough, it did.
Really?
Which, yeah, it was taught us a very strong lesson that your consciousness really is massively powerful and can do everything that you want it to do. These are just tools. This is not a substitute. So, I'd never say to somebody, oh, buy the loop or buy whatever it is because it's going to fix you. It's not about that. It's about you fixing you and using these tools just to help you over that little bit so that you start to feel the qualitative nature of your environment. And then once you've got into that new way of thinking, then you'll go everywhere. What's the quality of? I'm in Oxford Street doing my shopping. What's the quality of the energy? Well, everybody's rushing around, buzz, buzz, buzz. Can I stay in my own qualitative environment when I'm in Oxford Street? Obviously, it's easy when you're in the forest, but that's a little practice you can do in just 30 seconds. As you come out of Marks and Spencer's with your new undies, can I be in my qualitative state? And just practice it all the time. I often
If
do.
you know what that state feels like, you can easily go there, can't you? I guess.
That's exactly right. And that is the point, because you can carry that with you. So we will be very successful when we've sold some of our products, but everybody knows how to use the products without the product. And that's when we've been successful.
Yes.
Because what we've achieved is to get everybody to think in a new way.
I've got this necklace, like when we go up the hill on a Sunday, that everyone there has got this on.
Oh, right. Lovely.
Yeah. And I just trust that it's doing whatever it's supposed to do. But yeah, it's funny that you see nearly everyone up the hill has got one on.
That's great.
I mean, the thing is that, we forget how important it is for our systems to be in balance. And we also forget what an amazing thing nature is, because nature is constantly striving to bring us into a balanced state. Homeostasis, you can see it in any environment. It's always rebalancing everything. But the thing is, with the human potential, in our heart's potential, what we have is when these two polarities, when the balance is reached and we come fully into balance in our heart, then it's almost like a door opens, and then you go beyond the polarities, and you're in this state which isn't good or bad. It isn't, you know, hard or soft. It isn't any of these things. You just are in and of yourself. And it's what Buddha called, you know, the middle path. And I remember once I was, I had a very strong experience of this, because I'd had a massive argument with somebody, but I'd agreed to join this huge peace meditation, global peace meditation. So, you know, my whole body was like, because I was all worked up after I just had this argument. And then I sat down to do this peace meditation, and I was not in a peaceful state whatsoever. But then when I connected, the peace automatically kind of came into my system. And it was the most bizarre experience, because I kind of had this energy of and this energy of peace in my system at the same time. And then I just surrendered. I just dropped, because I couldn't be angry anymore, you know, because there was too much peace. I couldn't be peace. And then in that moment of dropping, both of them disappeared, and there was balance.
Oh, wow.
And it's incredible, because what we're doing every day is we're taking all these subtle energies that are around us, and we're bringing and harnessing them into a physical form that we can work with and manifest and create. And sometimes, you know, all the external stuff gets too much. So, you know, we use tools like the loop. This is a loop.
A pink one. Well, I've got a blue one as well.
Yeah. So I mean, this is great. You know, if I'm going to go into London or something like that, then I will just literally wrap it around my torso, you know, underneath my belly button, underneath my clothes. I'll just wrap it around me. And then that in and of itself will keep my energy balanced and centered, so that I don't get so affected when I go to Oxford Street. And then the thing is, the more that you meditate, or the more that you use tools like this, you get used to being in that state of balance, of being in that state of empowerment when you're inside yourself. And then eventually you won't need the tools anymore. For me, this just creates like a flow of energy. So anything that's stuck or trapped or whatever, it just keeps it moving through your system. So that then keeps you in a flow state.
I think we should explain how that works, because everybody's going, well, it's just a yoga belt, isn't it? My yoga belt doesn't do that. What's going on? So let me just explain, because what I was saying earlier was that when we walk through a forest, we interact and we take up what we need and what we don't. The way that happens is through this magnetic and gravitational relationship with all the different elements. So if you combine all those little elements into a piece of copper, and then you place the copper into a piece of material, and it's a long piece of material, and then say, for example, you put that material in a circle, those pieces will want to speak to each other. Now, if you're in the middle of that circle, then you become part of that conversation. So the whole time there is an information flow across that loop, and you're getting that information flow. And then you use your consciousness to set yourself the task of rebalancing while you've got that flow going on. And that's all that's happening, because your body is really smart and it will do the rest for you. And again, if you take the time just to feel the quality of that, then once you've felt the quality, you can embody that. You can take the loop off and see if you can still recreate that quality, because you can, because all those elements are still there. They're just not in that form in a loop. They're here. They're in the environment. But because you've made a contact with that particular frequency and you understand the quality of that, you can just extract it straight out of the environment. I mean, really, that was the basis for how Nikola Tesla was coming to his results with energy from the ether. He knew it's all in the ether, and we must know it's all in the ether. But convincing ourselves it is another matter. And all that's doing is convincing you that it is in the ether at the end of the day. And you can pull it out.
Show it to us a bit better, Kat.
Yeah, so basically it's a length, and then every 7 inches there's a piece of copper. Now this copper goes through various different processes. It actually takes several months to make the different liquids that go on top of it. So first of all, it gets nano coated. So all the tiny compacted atoms of the copper that are like this go through a process where they expand and they blow up like popcorn. So space is created through the atoms so that it becomes a superconductor for the energy. And then it gets layered with all the different transition states, which is just basically, if you imagine it's the building blocks of life. So all the components of us from the periodic table are then included into this so that life's intelligence can work through it energetically. So when you're in this balancing field, then it's almost like your system has this information then to rebalance itself.
Yeah.
And it provides...
Also, so really what you're doing here is just looking at, I think you can probably see just a little bump there. That's how small the copper piece is, right? So you've got one there, you've got one at the end, then they're equally spaced along this one there, one there, one there. Okay, so it's like all I was going to say energetic products. You're relying on mathematics as well, so that you've got everything aligned, and you're getting a constant feed of this information. So that's how it works on the loop. When you come to the other products, what's actually happening is we're taking the actual, what we call the TSC, and then we're combining that into our own particular cocktails, which are then placed in other items, and those then project a field of information that you sit in. But the way you approach that is exactly the same as when you wear the loop. You've got to approach it with an intention to connect with your consciousness and with an intention to rebalance. So it's all about the balance.
Brilliant. I'll just do a share screen just a minute, just to show when we did that a couple of years ago at Emery Down, we had the loops round all the chairs, didn't we?
Yeah. Because we've learned that you can explain this intellectually to people till the cows come home, but actually you've got to experience it. It's all about the experience. So whenever we give a talk, we always make sure there's a big box of loops there, and everybody can have a go. And we're finding out new stuff all the day, all the time. Like, for example, with this particular loop, we started off saying, oh, well, just put it on the ground and use it flat on the ground. Then we went to Germany to do some talks, and a Malaysian lady said, oh, can I have a go? And she got hold of this, and then she set it up on the floor like that. So it's just sitting upright on its small edge. And we were amazed because she was 2 meters away from us, and we could actually feel the increase in the environment as she set that up. So now our latest toy is to get some little tabs on the bottom, and I'm just about to try and work out how to provide people with an easy setup, so the whole thing can be set up on its edge.
Oh,
and that actually increases energy by about 4 times.
that's it.
Yeah, it's huge. And then a stage on from that is I've got a hula hoop. I'll show you.
And I'll just say,
experimenting. We're always experimenting.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, look.
So this is our hula hoop loop. Okay, and I've wrapped it round this hula hoop. Now, what you can do with this then is you can set that off the floor. And we found that, well, it wasn't us actually, it was Simeon who works with us. He found that about 150 millimeters off the floor is a perfect height and gives you a very different quality to how you experience the loop. And so we're just working on a really easy way to achieve that as well. In the early days, when we did some talks, people actually had a series of those loops going up, and you stood in them, and they went all the way up to the top, and so you're encased in this this environment, this loop environment, which was really great, and actually at the same time we found I was watching one of your talks earlier with I've forgotten the name, Vader.
Oh, Ada Austin, yes.
Yeah, Vader Austin. I mean, she was talking about water. Obviously, the way this works is exactly how she describes. What we do with this is we can put this next to a jug of water and charge the water with the quality of this. And you can do the same thing with the loop. You can wrap the loop around your jug of drinking water, and it will be a charged water. It will be a structured water, and then you can drink that.
Oh my.
So then you've ingested it on the inside, and then you're using your consciousness to connect outside. So you're getting an increase in the number of interactions. Then if you stand in the loop as well, that's fantastic. And then if you've got one of our V4s and you're sitting in that as well, you can get this, charge the water, spray the water over you. That increases the information field yet again. But one of the things that we did very early on, which I'm not quite sure why it didn't catch on, but it's a bit of a faff doing it, is to get yourself a pop-up mosquito net, charge your water and spray the water onto the mosquito net, then get inside the mosquito net. And what's actually happening there is that the water, when it passes through the little crosses on the net, is actually being accelerated, and it forms a discrete energetic environment. And when you get inside, you are just in the quality of that environment, nothing else. You become part of that vaporized frequency, and you really notice it. But
I just goosed it that's the truth then, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's great if it's hot, because you're also in this lovely cool environment.
Oh yes.
So I mean, each of these has their own particular quality. Like this is for grounding, but CO2 and copper, zinc is for your nervous system. You really notice it, and it's super cheap. I mean, those pop-up mosquito nets are £20 each on Amazon. Yeah, just peanuts. So we've had great fun with those. We went to the English Dowsers conference a few years back, and took 4 of them, and the Dowsers were in there, and they loved it. They thought it was great. So
I'll just say, oh sorry, while we're on the loops, can I just say, like, when my little Freddie was not well a couple of weeks ago, and I just said something to Joe, and he always puts a picture of Freddie or Monty, that not that they're ever ill really, but obviously there is occasion when they've eaten something anyway, but he puts a picture of them in the pods that he's got from you. But then he always says, have you wrapped the loop around his collar? And it honestly just so quickly seems to make a difference.
Yeah.
Because dogs don't even question it, do they? They just know.
That's the proof.
Yeah.
So here we have the Orynoco dog collar.
Yeah, this is a prototype, because the thing is, we found that animals respond so well to the technology, and it really seems to have a very calming effect on their system.
Yes.
Yeah, so we've just started trialing sort of the past few months, and yeah, this year we will be releasing the dog collars.
Oh, that's incredible. That is a really good thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
But
they'll love it.
yeah, but
Especially if you've got a hyper dog. It just brings it down to the level when he starts listening to you, and then you can train him to the next stage. So
Yes.
they work really well. Yeah.
But if you've got a loop, you can also wrap it around the dogs, you know, around the
Mm.
outside of the dog's bed. Yeah, I mean, animals are very different to humans. You know, you don't have to convince them or anything, or, you know,
They don't question it. They just accept it, don't they?
accept it, get on with it, and they go, oh, this is nice, and, you know, fall asleep or.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you don't want to leave it on all the time.
Hmm.
You
I've
know,
only done it when he's ill. I haven't even thought
Yeah.
about doing it otherwise, and I've not had to have it on long for sure.
no.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
so that's great because they will rebalance so much quicker than we do because
Yeah.
we've got all this other stuff going on in our brain about why it shouldn't work.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're going, oh yeah, that works, and that's it.
Yes.
Woof.
Yes.
So it's a great, it is a great reminder. Yeah.
Without a doubt. I don't know if there's anything on the website you want to share, because you can do share screen if you need to, Malcolm. Up to you.
Well, I think it's all pretty self-explanatory.
It's just really like your website so that people can find the website if they're interested.
Yeah.
But Joe Hayes mentioned about doing this talk because, as much as anything, because you've got the portable, you're doing the portable pods now.
Oh yeah. So the V4 is our kind of uh, you know, that's the top of the range one. But we've just brought out the portable. Now this is quite interesting because in actual fact the amount of work that goes into this is almost equivalent to the V4, which is a lot more expensive, but it's a slightly different quality. So if you look down here, you'll be able to see that this is made of 3 layers of copper wire, which has all been individually treated and then wound. So what that is effectively an accelerator of the fields. So on its own, it will have a quality that you can connect with. Now, in order to this was specifically aimed at people, for example, if they want to do a sound healing or they want to do a quick meditation, then they can use this to set up an environment very quickly in a room. We've actually got some people using it in conjunction with the V4, the pods. And what they've done is they've linked this to the pods, and they keep the pods at home, and then in their clinic, they take one of these, and when their patient comes in, they use their consciousness to link back to the pods at home and bring in the pods field into the clinic, and then the client can experience both of those. So that is a pretty fantastic way of working, but you can actually increase that further because we've made these little cartridges, and in each cartridge is a particular mix of transition state elements. And when you insert that into the portable, what's actually happening there is the quality of that TSC is then being irradiated through this coil arrangement, and then the field has changed quality. I can feel it already. It's just done it. And in fact, if anybody's watching, just tune into this and just see if you can feel it. So so that's another way of using it, but that is not the same as the pods. Now the pods have been especially designed with a certain way of making the TSC so that it corresponds with 5 levels of the body and our soul. And what that does is then give you an access, once you're fully relaxed, to your if you like, your life force, your soul, your oversoul, and that's why whenever we've had a video back, I mean, Joe has done some fantastic videos for us with people sitting in the pods. Every one is completely different because, of course, we're all completely different and we all have our own experiences and we all have our own stuff to clear. So that's why I say it's not a biohack. It's a very individual experience, and it's designed for every individual to make it their own.
Amazing. I was trying to look for a picture of the pods so that we could show what that's what you mean by the pods.
Ah, okay. Yeah, well, we've got them here.
Oh, great.
Got them here. Right. So,
There, yes.
so it's a base and two poles, one inserted into the other. So this one comes out of the clear, and then in here are five different levels of TSE, and these connect with the different levels of the body. On the website is a full explanation. I'll just see if I can share my screen. I've forgotten how to do that.
It says share screen. Oh, but you already need to have it open, whatever it is you want to share.
Yeah, I have. Oh, here it is. Right.
Ah, that's, yeah. So it's oh, that says my life force energy, but your actual, oh, Orynoco. Where am
Does that come up?
Yeah, that's come up.
There's lovely Caris. She's a yoga teacher, and this just demonstrates that's the top of the pod. So you can see this white tube sits inside this clear tube.
Yeah.
And it's the white tube that has the information points in it. And you literally just put that in around you like that. Okay, now here we have an IKEA chair, which is very nice. It doesn't come with the pods, but you'll have to buy that separately. Now, the reason it's a Perspex chair is because when the TSE starts to work, the gravitational and magnetic fields will always try and rebalance the densest material in its immediate environment. And normally that is wood or metal, which of course is what most of our chairs are made of. Now, that's not a problem at all. But if you're looking for a quick setup, it's best to have the Perspex chair because that is more in line with the type of energy flows that are coming out of the pods. If you are going to have a setup over a period of weeks, then having a metal or a wooden chair is irrelevant, really, because the whole of the field will rebalance the room and all the furniture in it, and actually will go on and rebalance things outside of the room as well. So yeah, I mean, when you get the pods, you get the three tubes basically.
We've got a therapists and hosts section on the website so that people can you know, go and have a free experience of the technology.
Oh, yes, yes.
So can you see these are all therapists and hosts all across England, and if you just contact them, then you'll be able to have a free session there. If you're in, there's some in Wales, there's some in Scotland, Ireland. There's Abbey Wynn and Live 5D, which is a Mark Atwood's health centre
Oh, okay.
in Boyle, the Roscommon.
Yes, yes.
He's got an Orynoco there, and Abbey Wynn is not far. She's in Dublin, but yeah, she loves it. In fact, on our front page, you'll see an interview that I did with both.
Yes, yes, I saw that.
Yeah,
Lovely.
very interesting. Now in France, there's Neil, who we're working on a centre in France at the moment, and the guy who lives next door to us works with the pods as well. And Switzerland, there's a couple of people. Brigitte, she's a sound therapist, and in the USA, there's 3 people there. So we're growing all the time, slowly. And actually, you know, we often bring these people together when we're doing an international connection.
And if there's nobody available in your area, then you'll see that there are quite a number of hosts that can offer remote sessions. So then you can also do a remote session to experience the technology. Yeah,
remote session will be a very powerful experience, as well as doing it in person, because obviously if you're developing your consciousness, then you're going to be able to connect in no problem at all.
And that helps you develop your consciousness, doesn't it? Any of these
will help you, because it's like I said before, it's training you to embody the fact that you are in a qualitative environment made up of these various energetic fields. You're not in a quantitative environment. Everything about our existence has been based on more, and value, more. Whereas in fact, it's all about the quality. And so, but in order to get to that stage, you really do have to flip your thinking so that it's an automatic approach, that you want to achieve a rebalance, you want to achieve the best quality wherever you are.
And people, when they sit in the pods, you're in a totally supportive environment and field that takes you right back into the deepest parts of yourself. So some people have one person actually described it as having a direct phone line with God. You know, it's like it takes the environment out. So you're just sitting there and you have this potential space to really come into your heart, to really feel yourself for who you are. And you can set an intention. You know, one woman, she set the intention, show me unconditional love. And she said that she just cried. She set that intention for the first 10 days, and she just cried every day for the first 10 days, because there's always so much going on in such a busy world that sometimes we find it very hard to get into contact with those spaces within ourselves. You know, we forget what we actually feel like. So a number of people have said when they've sat in the pods, it's like coming home. You know, it's like
coming home is an often used expression.
Yeah. And
also, want to stop the share on that now?
Yeah.
And then we'll come back to the screen. Lovely. Yeah, I mean, the more we hear about things like this, the more it opens our minds to what we are capable of, isn't it?
And that's what these things are, you know, they're just tools of empowerment. They really are, so that we can just remember our potential, remember our ability to manifest, to create. You know, we're working together with all these energies all the time. We're just not necessarily conscious of it.
Mm.
So when you become conscious of working with the energies and you start to set intentions, you know, you can use environments like the forest, like the pods, to come back to yourself and just feel how it is to press the reset button, you know, bare
If
feet.
you're not well, it does. Do you do it to find peace, or is it to help wellness as well?
It's both.
Both. When your system comes into balance, then you will find that sometimes some of the symptoms that you are feeling disappear. You know, it's like we don't call it a healing technology, we call it a consciousness balancing technology, because the thing is, it's up to everybody's own individual system will respond to the technology differently. You know, some people will have like miracle spontaneous things happen to them that you just never would imagine, because their system's just ready for that. They're ready to make that shift. And then for other people, they'll just feel a really deep sense of relaxation. You know, it really varies.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier that, you know, when Joe was filming all the different reactions from people in the pods, all of those incidentally are on the website. And so you can go through them, and everybody has a completely different experience, because everybody's ready at a different stage to clear stuff, to move on, or maybe not move on, just be there and understand what it is. So yeah, it's a progressive. The point is, it's not one of these things that is, oh, use it, it fixes stuff. What it does is it's a progressive tool. So it helps you understand yourself better, helps you understand your environment better, and moves you on to the next level. Now, it may move you on to the next level, so you don't need our pods at all, which would actually be fantastic, because then we've got yet another person into the collective consciousness. And when another person joins the collective consciousness, it builds on the energy, it builds on the strength, and that's another step closer to heaven.
Yeah.
But the portable one that you've got is much more reasonable, because obviously 5,000, we could see that was
Yeah.
a lot.
So that's 444. Okay. The cheapest one is obviously, I mean, you can have fantastic results with this. £77.
Yes.
You know, if you buy that, you can wrap that around your jug and charge your water and spray your water. You can use that in your bed. You can use it wrapped around you. You can use it for anything. This is more for a slightly more experienced person working with the fields, if they want to work with the fields, or if they're a practitioner and they want to hold a meditation or whatever. And the pods are your Rolls Royce for you to really hone your already developed consciousness. And you can people travel in those. They go places, you know. So they are really connected. And of course you've got the TSEs. Once you really get to grips with what's in that tube, and those aren't expensive. I mean, I think I can't remember now. I think £15 each.
And the thing is, with one of these, you know, you can hold it when you meditate. You can charge water with it. If you obviously, it's everything that you do with the water is a co-creation. So you always work with the water so that you come together in balance. But then when you charge your water, you can use it then to spray your sheets. You know, when your sheets are out drying, you can spray your sheets, and then you're in this energetic supportive environment while you're sleeping. You know, there's multiple ways.
Sorry. So when you say you spray, it's not with that, but that's been put near the water.
Yeah. So what you do is, if you get a jug of water, and then you just put this next to, so say this was a jug of water, you literally just put this next to the jug of water. And then what will happen, you know, that water will then become informed with this. And with structure, how water takes on information is, if you imagine that there's water with all loads of discombobulated molecules, you know, there's no sort of order. And then if you put water that's structured next to it, because of this process of nature of always wanting to come into balance, all those molecules in that water will then become structured because there's a symmetry to it. So then this water will take on the information from this water. So then what you can do is you can pour your jug of water into a spray bottle, and then you can use it to spray, you know, you can spray around the outside of you like this before you meditate. You can spray your sheets. I've got a friend who's spraying her dog, her car. I mean, she went really over the top. She was spraying absolutely everything. But this water is then informed with this information, and this you can just use again and again and again. And this is copper, so this is very good for your physical body. So you can hold it when you meditate, and yeah, all the water then in your body will become structured and start realigning with its energy.
Well, it's not that all the water. If you revisit some of your interviews with Veda Austin,
Yes.
I mean, basically, she explains this process perfectly because it's exactly the same thing.
Yes.
So it's not that you're changing the whole of the water in your body to copper. What's happening is it's making that information available to you if you want to take it up, and your body's smart enough to know how much of that it needs,
Yes.
and it will take it up, but it's via the water connection. That's really what Kat's saying. It's via the water connection, and Veda will say the same thing. So it's super versatile because it is water. That's the point. So this is like, consider it a battery. Okay, that's the best way to describe it.
Because I heard someone say that even if you put an organic banana in with a bunch of bananas that are not organic, the not organic ones will take on the best qualities of an organic.
Exactly, and
that
that's
sort of idea. Yeah.
And you can make a TSE out of bananas. You can make it out of potatoes. You can make it out of anything, because, of course, everything is just a collection of charged particles, which we call as a collective noun a plasma field, but we know as a potato. So that's where I'm trying to get to is that, when you look at when you pick the next potato up, don't go, oh, that's a potato, that's a King Edwards, that's great for chips. Go, I wonder what sort of plasma cloud that is.
And if anybody does want to have a go at making this stuff, it's all open sourced on our website. Just go to the resources section and it will show you step by step how to make it. There's also a free PDF booklet in the shop if anybody wants to find out more information about the consciousness and about setting intentions and just a general information.
We've tried to break down with successive people saying, how's it work, how's it work, how's it work. We've put those on a separate tab on the website, and in fact there's a little download there that is, we've kind of condensed what Orynoco technology does into about 3 paragraphs, easily explainable paragraphs.
Brilliant. I'll just go to the homepage. I'll just share that. So that is the website, and that actually says mylifeforceenergy.com.
Yeah, it does, because that's actually what we're talking about. We're talking about My Life Force Energy.
Yes.
And that's why I recommended at the beginning of this to go and watch that Netflix film, Chasing Starlight, because it's the life force energy of everything.
Well,
there is that, just to let people know, just in case they're vegetarians or whatever, there are hunting scenes in that. It is nature. It is nature with all its with all facets of nature being exhibited in that program.
But it's still okay for kids.
Yeah. I mean, it's still okay for kids, but it just, you know, nature can be quite raw sometimes with the hunting scenes and everything with animals, but it's just a beautiful depiction of the sun and how the sun influences our lives.
Thank
Okay.
you so much. Is there anything else you needed to share on that?
No, I mean, I think that's enough because it's quite a big.
So yeah, a lot to take in.
Feel as though you've been through a tumbler and you've been turned upside down. So you have to just go away and just embody it a bit.
So maybe
Yeah.
so maybe we could just finish with a couple of minutes integration. Should we just do?
Okay, and just well, one thing I did want to say was that we are actually going to be doing some talks at the Harry Edwards Foundation in the next couple of months. I don't know if you know the Harry Edwards Foundation, but
I'd love to. Yeah,
it's a beautiful building in Surrey, overlooking Surrey Downs, and yeah, they've asked us to give a couple of talks, and we'll be releasing the dates of those in due course. But I mean, it's regardless of us, it's worth a visit there anyway because they've got a lovely cafe, and you can sit out over the downs. It's called the Harry Edwards Foundation.
Yeah, and we'll let you know, Jackie, because we'll be there with all the technology, with all the pods and the loops, so people can come and have a go and experiment and chat to us, ask questions if they've got any questions, if they've done any experimenting between now and then.
Yeah, it'll be a whole day.
Oh, that's brilliant. I'm just going to share this quickly as well, because Joe Hayes is going to be at this Free the Mind UK, and he'll have all the Orynoco bits. He said he'll have everything there. So that's going to be on the 5th of May at Bognor Regis. Yeah, so I just said if we had an opportunity, I'd share that because, you know, you can look at all the Orynoco
yeah, fantastic
technology that you've got.
Fantastic.
So yeah, if you'd like to finish that, Kat, look, you know.
Okay, so we'll just once again, just closing our eyes for a moment. Just allowing all the energies to settle, all the excitement, the curiosity, the learning, just allowing everything to pull back into your heart. Knowing that you are this information. You have access to all information in your heart. Everything that you have been, are, and ever will be is all anchored in your heart. Any information which seems new is a relearning, a remembering, as we return into the space that never changes, into the space where we are held by love, into the space where we are only light information, interacting with each other, loving each other on a level deeper than we will ever understand consciously, sharing the space, sharing this planet. Allow yourself to drop into your heart in the quiet moments. Allow yourself to feel this love, to feel this stillness, to feel who you truly are. We thank you for this opportunity to share. We thank Jackie for this opportunity to be ourselves, talking, laughing, growing. We're all together on this journey, acknowledging and honouring our ancestors who have brought us here, acknowledging and honouring each other. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening, everybody. When you're ready, just open your eyes. Oh, I can't hear you.
Sorry. Thank you so much, Malcolm and Kat. Really informative. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Jackie.
I'd be really interested to know about Harry Edwards or when it is, and if I can get there. Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if you look at the website, they've got stuff going on all the time.
Mhm.
yes.
But yeah, we're just setting up a couple of dates, and we'll
Yeah,
let you
we'll
know.
let you know.
Brilliant, because we're going to the Arthur Finley.
Oh, yeah.
May the 6th. Got a coach trip there, but I might look into whether
Yeah.
we can get one to go there.
Yeah, well, I think
Yeah,
I
they'd
think,
love it. I'm
yeah.
sure they'd love it.
At the moment, we're looking at the beginning of June. So as soon as we know the date, then we'll let you know. And yeah, that would be brilliant. Lovely.
Thank you so much.
Okay. No
All
problem.
right, thanks anyone watching.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.